Hello there, BoBo the Bitcoiner is back. Today, subject will be Bitcoin price, another interesting subject. But this episode is quite long, so I may have to break into a few parts. You know, the deeper you go, the more you realize that the obsession with prices is like judging a book by its cover. Not just that, also by the price of the book. It's easy to see why price capture attention. Numbers are simple, measurable, and emotional. Prices spike, triggers jubilation. Prices drop, panic. News amplified because it generates click, engagement, and emotional response. When prices surge, everybody becomes a self-proclaimed expert. When it falls, the skeptic emerge. This dance of price obsession plays out like a clockwork, drawing in clouds and sending them away just as quickly. Think of Bitcoin as an iceberg. The price is the visible tip above the surface, shiny and attention-grabbing. But below the water level lies a massive, complex, and incredibly resilient structure. The Bitcoin network, the philosophy behind it, the economic incentives, the code, the global nodes, the community, the security model, and the unwavering rules. Price may tell you how much people are prepared to pay for one Bitcoin, but it said nothing about what Bitcoin is, why it matters, and how revolutionary Bitcoin truly is. People hear Bitcoin hit 30,000, 60,000, and they ask, should I buy Bitcoin now or wait? But the better question might be, do I understand what Bitcoin is? What am I buying? Because if you don't understand what Bitcoin is beyond its price, then you are not investing. You are gambling. You are not engaging with a revolution. Bitcoin at its core is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a technology that challenges the very structure of money, trust, and control in our world. But once you realize that, Bitcoin price will become the least exciting part. In fact, it becomes almost irrelevant in the long run, and it looks like the stock market is missing out. You're missing out the quiet revolution of connectivity that was changing human civilization. It is human nature to focus on price. We are wired to respond to the gains and losses, to measure our wealth in numbers. But Bitcoin isn't just another chart of the price. It's not a stock or bond. It doesn't rely on future earnings, dividends, and the performance of a company. It's a completely different creature, one that is not backed by promises but by maths and concepts. consensus. The distinction is understated but crucial. Stock responds to earning calls and market sentiment. Fiat currency responds to policies, but Bitcoin responds to none of those. It operates on its own schedule, governed by the fixed supply, distributed consensus, and global computation. Because price is reactive, but Bitcoin in sense is proactive. It is building an entirely new financial architecture, whether the market is watching or not. Bitcoin is not defined by price. Price gets shaken during downturns, seduced during bubbles, and confused during the sideways movement. But for those who look deeper, we see a different picture. A picture that isn't about buying low and selling high, but about opting out of a broken system and aligning with more transparent, incorruptible one. The price is loud, but it's also shallow. The real price lies beneath the surface, and it's more fascinating than any dollar amount on the screen could ever be. You see, Bitcoin isn't just a digital token. It's a decentralized network. Because unlike traditional financial systems that require a central government, authority, a central bank, and the board of directors, Bitcoin runs without any of them. Not a single person or entity is in charge. And yet, the entire system operates in perfect synchrony. Block after block, year after year. We are used to hierarchies. We assume that for anything to work, there must be someone on top to control and make decisions. But Bitcoin flips that idea on its head. Bitcoin functions through consensus, not control. Every 10 minutes, a new block is added to the change, verified by thousands of independent computers, nodes scattered across the globe. No need for permission. Instead, rules are enforced by software and maths, and every participant plays by the same transparent, unchangeable rules. This is the magic of decentralization, and it's not just technical, it's a political. Because decentralization means no one can manipulate the supply. No government can devalue it with inflation. No central bank can issue bailout or change the interest rate. No corporation can freeze your account or block your transaction. It is the ultimate neutral playing field. No need to trust anyone. You only need to trust the system, which is open for all to see, verify, and audit. Compared to our existing financial infrastructure, banks are centralized. Stock market also centralized. Payment processors are centralized. Each relies on a trusted intermediary, one that can fail, be hacked, be pressured, or act out of self-interest. When you wire money, you go through layers of bureaucracy. When you send a credit card payment, there are companies in between taking a cut, monitoring your behavior, and decide who get access. But with Bitcoin, none of this exists. If you and the protocol, nothing more. It's resilient. Bitcoin has never been hacked. It never missed a block. Despite hostile government, exchanges collapse, and waves of public doubt, Bitcoin marches forward relentlessly. Why? Because there is no head to cut off, no switch to flick. Shutting down Bitcoin would mean shutting down the internet. And even then, it could bring back as long as one copy of the blockchain remains. The decentralized design also makes Bitcoin borderless. It doesn't care from where, what language you speak, and what passport you hold. It's not just decentralized, it democratizes. It opens financial available to billions of people who has been excluded, underserved, or abused by traditional system. And here's the important, most astonishing part. There's no customer support, no company headquarters, no Bitcoin CEO. If you need help, you can't call someone. You learn, you explore, you connect with the global community. It's a financial system that doesn't offer comfort, but it did offer freedom. It doesn't promise ease, but it offers sovereignty. And in that trade-off, something powerful happens. People take responsibility. They educate themselves. They learn to secure their own key, verify their own transaction, and understand the system that relies on them. Okay, I think I've gone far enough, more than 12.5 minutes. I'll continue the next episode maybe next week. If I can finish that, otherwise another week. Okay? Hope you enjoyed today's episode about price is not the most important thing. The essence is the Bitcoin network. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.